You're never going to be healthy and energized if you're only focusing on the gym. If you feel like you need to suffer to be healthy and energized, you have the completely wrong mindset. And 1 year ago, when I was unhealthy and tired, I also thought that I needed to put myself through suffering to be healthy and energized. But that is not the answer. God didn't put us on earth to be suffering to be healthy and energized. We should live life and our health will follow. That is what I'm saying all the time. We should live life naturally and health will follow. If health doesn't follow, then we have a lifestyle problem. Something needs to be changed in how we live our lives. You don't need to put in more hours in the gym. You need to put in more hours in the things you're doing outside of the gym, outside of exercising, and actually going back to basics, going back to simplicity. I worked out like 5 to 6 times a week 1 year ago, but when it came to my sleep, I slept like shit. I ate like shit. I didn't have no structure at all outside of the gym. When I shifted focus from the gym to my habits and my routines outside of the gym and tried to fix my sleep, my diet, my routines, my environment, that's when I saw real progress in my health and my energy. For example, today I prioritize 10,000 steps every single day over a workout. If you would have said that to me 1 year ago when I was a typical gym bro, then I wouldn't believe you at all. It would have sound so crazy to me. But now it's totally making sense. Focusing on the foundation in your health is so much more important than focusing on just one part of your health. Your health isn't just exercise. It's all these different areas like sleep, like diet, like socializing, for example, like sunlight exposure. I'm prioritizing sunlight over artificial light from my phone because I know that I will sleep better, my digestion will get better, I will have more energy, I will look better, I will get the vitamin D from the sun. All those benefits from just being outside, feeling the warm sun in my face and my body. I get so many different health benefits from that, and not only health benefits, but I feel alive, I feel like a human being, and I prioritize that over being on my phone. That's what I wanted to talk about today, and one of my clients actually recommended me to film this video because he understood that it was so important to focus on the small things, to focus on walking, to focus on sunlight, and so on, instead of just exercising. I also had a guy reach out to me yesterday on Instagram telling me that, yo bro, when I focused on exercising 6 times a week and I was stressing from work to the gym and then work, gym, then I didn't see no progress. I felt like shit all the time. I didn't feel healthy at all, but now that I focus more on rest and I focus on the small things, the diet, the sleep, and then I only work out 2 to 3 times a week, I feel so much better. And my progress is better as well. Why is that? And I told him, like, it's because you need to rest. Our bodies isn't meant to only stress. We should be able to rest, enjoy life, but also, sleep good and be aligned with nature. When we're not aligned with nature, our health won't follow. And no, I don't want you to live as a caveman. My principles is that you should be able to balance your health with your modern job or your work or your modern lifestyle, whatever. It's not as hard as you think. For example, some small habits that you can implement now that will change your health and your energy drastically can be, when you wake up in the morning, don't look at your phone. Go for a 5 to 10 minute walk without anything. Just be in your mind, your thoughts. So you can self-reflect a bit while you're walking, while you're creating motion for the whole day. You're creating momentum for the whole day. You wake up, you win the morning, and when you win the morning, you're going to win the whole day. Everything starts in the morning. When I was a gym bro, I woke up, I was scrolling on my phone, then I went to the gym, then I went to work. I didn't win the morning at all. I was so lazy, and this is what I mean. You should focus on something natural, be aligned with nature, and that's exactly how you win the morning. So you can go for a walk for 10 minutes, you hydrate, you can meditate in the morning, then you can exercise or go to work, whatever. Then you come home from work, then you go for a walk, you get sunlight, you eat natural food. And then in the evening, you wind down, you read a book, you self-reflect, you go for another walk, you have 10,000 steps, you're eating an animal-based foods that supports your body, that's aligned with your biology. If you're fat, whatever, you can easily lose weight by doing that. 100%. You don't even have to exercise, and most of my clients doesn't exercise. They're focusing on the back to basics principles. That is the most important thing. When you have your foundation, you have your morning walks, you have your evening walks, you have the diet, you have every routine, every habit, you're living more aligned with nature, you're not stressing as much, you have your foundation that's solid, then you can start to implement your workouts. You can implement if you want to run, if you want to jog, if you want to go to the gym, if you want to do CrossFit, whatever. Then you can implement that. But if your foundation is toxic, if you don't have any routines, any habits, nothing at all that you can rely on, then I don't want you to exercise. You should focus on the basics. For example, when you're starting a business, you're not focusing on the advanced marketing techniques. No, you're focusing on the basics. What is my goal with the business? What product am I selling? Do I have a product? Then you're going to market it. Then you can scale and stuff like that. But you're not going to start with scaling. You're going to start with the foundation. And that's exactly the same with health. You need to start with having solid routines, solid habits, a solid mindset. Everything starts with the foundation, the back to basics principles. So if you have health issues and you want to get healthy, start with the small things. Start with taking one step at a time. Don't go from, being down here eating McDonald's, not exercising at all, laying on the couch, 10 hours screen time, stressing at work, to trying to be this guy, wake up at 4 a.m., do cold plunges, do extreme workouts, work out 5 times a week, eat salads. No, you should take one step at a time. Focus on sustainable things. What most people are focusing on today are short-term solutions. And when you're looking for short-term solutions, it's often the most painful stuff you're looking at. And that can be 75 hard, for example, when you work out extremely hard for 75 days. And when those 75 days are over, you're just crashing back down to your normal habits and your old routines that you had before, because you didn't actually fix the foundation. I've went through trial and errors like for years. I was bloated, I had acne, I had gut issues, I was a bit overweight, and I put all my time and energy and effort into the gym. But before the gym, I laid on the couch, did nothing, scrolled on my phone, ate bad foods. And after the gym, I laid on the couch, did nothing, scrolled on my phone, ate bad foods. And I thought that the gym would carry me and my whole health. But that wasn't the solution. I realized that I needed to focus on something sustainable. I wanted sustainable health, sustainable results, sustainable routines, sustainable diet, sustainable habits that I could have for the rest of my life. Started to walk more. I started to analyze the diet part more. I tried to look for improvements in my sleep. How could I improve my sleep? How could I live healthier? What did I need to do? Because clearly the gym wasn't sustainable and it didn't get me the results that I wanted. So then I started to take 10,000 steps every single day. I started to focus on sunlight exposure. I actually figured out how to fix my sleep. Found the animal-based diet that was actually sustainable that I've had for over a year now. And I got rid of my acne. I got slimmer. I got healthier. My hair got actually blonde. 1 year ago I had dark hair and now I have blonde hair. But I think it has to do with the sun exposure and also the diet, because I think I've detoxed a lot of toxins that was stored in my body, and I think that also led to me getting clear skin and blonde hair and slimmer. And I also accepted that I needed to change my lifestyle. Of course, in the beginning it's hard to, implement these things, but it's not painful. It's super simple. Your mind will always be stuck in comfort. Your mind will always be your enemy, because everything starts in your mind. So something that really helped me was getting more conscious of my mind. I started to cut out distractions like scrolling on my phone. Mainly, I think social media was the biggest distraction for me, so I stopped scrolling on my phone and I got more conscious of my mind and how my mind acted, what thoughts I had in mind, what thoughts that tried to manipulate me, what emotions I had, when I got my cravings, for example, when I wanted to stay up late and look at my phone. Basically when my mind wanted to go back to old habits. And there's so many things that are distracting us today. There's distractions everywhere, like especially on the media, on internet. If you have a phone and you have a TV, you know that you are filling your mind up with just unnecessary shit all the time, 24/7, and you know it's destroying your mind. You're not able to think straight. I was there as well. When you're consuming shit all the time, you're switching diets, you're switching mindsets, you're switching workout styles, you're trying new stuff every single day without sticking to one thing, to sticking to one principle. I know how it is, but it's the modern distractions. They're trying to take you away from your true self. And when my mind wanted to go back to old habits, that's when I realized that I needed to take a conscious choice if I actually wanted a new bright future, or if I wanted to be comfortable in my old habits and my old routines, if I wanted to be stuck. It was completely up to me if I wanted to go down the narrow road alone with my new habits, with my new routines, with this new lifestyle, or if I wanted to be stuck. And of course I wanted the new lifestyle, but sometimes your mind is super weird. Like it's super hard to master your mind. But after falling back into old habits, after a lot of ups and downs, I realized that okay, I just need to flip the switch now, and I need to commit to these habits and these routines every single day so that I can fix my health. Now I'm here today. I haven't worked out in 20 days actually. I'm still able to be super slim and healthy and energized. I mainly prioritize walking every single day. I've also been a gamer my whole life, so what I'm focusing on right now is fixing my posture, because my posture has been super bad from just gaming, from having this hunched over position. So I'm working on my posture, my diaphragm. I'm learning how to breathe correctly. I'm learning how to align my body again, because my body isn't aligned, my physical body. So I'm working on that at the moment, and it's super important to me because I've realized that the gym was always a short-term solutions to my insecurities and my health. and it wasn't really sustainable, and it didn't fix my root problems, which was my foundations and my routines. But as I said, it's not hard to be healthy and energized. And that was it for this video. I wanted to just give you guys some value. I want you guys to realize that it's not that hard. You don't have to suffer. Just focus on the sustainable, healthy routines and habits that aligns more with nature than it does with the modern lifestyle. I hope you guys got something out of this video, some value. Please comment down below if you got some value. Follow me on my Instagram, where I post every single day, and I help men and women through my back to basics coaching. And if you guys are interested in that, you can watch my other videos about my blueprint. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.